What's going on, everybody? Welcome into Fantasy Alarm TV. I'm your host, Howard Bender, and welcome to 3-Point Play, where it's a one-on-one battle between Fantasy Alarm analysts. Today, I get the pleasure of taking on my man, Matt Sells. I'm going to try and leave analytics out of this as much as possible so that he doesn't make me look incredibly stupid here. Let's go with some easier topics here. Matt, are you ready to go?
I am definitely ready, yeah.
Are you going to throw me a beating here or what?
Attempt to.
Oof, come on. I'll take it.
One of us is going to look like Max Scherzer's eye by the end of this.
Oh, that ain't going to be me. That's definitely going to be you, my friend. For those of you guys who are just joining us here at 3-Point Play, what we do is we argue three topics. In order to make your point, you have to come up with three separate, distinct points in order to make your statement there. And then after each one of us gets to go, then we get to tear each other apart for a few moments there. And then you, the viewer, get to tweet us at Fantasy Alarm, at The Salesman, at Roto Buzz Guy. Tell us who you think won the debate. Topic number one, Matt, here we go. Sports, man. Are we all in on going live to games here, or is watching them on TV much better? Much, much better.
I'm going to go with going to sporting events. I'm a live event kind of guy, and I'm kind of shocked that you aren't because you go to concerts all the time. But I'm going live sporting events for reason number one. You're part of an atmosphere. You get the electricity in the stadium. It builds. It's palpable. You can feel it. You get to meet some new friends, and you get souvenirs too. Like there was a kid last night at the Angels game, got Pujols' attention. Pujols came over, signed the jersey right off his back and gave it to the kid. Can't do that if you're watching from home. Reason number two, you get a better perspective at just how fast and how athletic these guys and girls are up close. Because as great as TV is and as good as high def and 4K and now 5K are, a lot of stuff doesn't translate. Speed, in hockey, for example, if you go to a live hockey game, you will be blown away at just how fast those guys are moving and the refs and the puck is flying everywhere. NASCAR, which I write about on a weekly basis, the speed and sound does not translate through the television. You have to go to an event and see just how close they're getting at 200 miles an hour. You got to go. Reason number three, if you go to a live sporting event, you can see sports that aren't normally shown on television. You can see college sports that a lot of them are not shown. Even a lot of football games for college are not shown. You can see soccer, like the Women's World Cup going on right now. That's being shown, yes, but there's a lot of soccer games aren't being shown. Gymnastics, volleyball, rugby, minor league baseball. You can see all of those live that you can't see on the TV.
Do you not subscribe to the Ocho? ESPN, come on. I was watching the pickleball championships the other day. What are you talking about? There's no rando sports there on TV. It's a bold statement, Cotton. Let's see if you can back it up. Listen, man, I love going to a live concert. There's nothing better for me. But when it comes to sporting events, dude, I'm sick of the stadium. Sick and tired of it here. Let me sit in the comfort of my own home. Let me enjoy my couch, my snacks, my company, whatever the case may be. Point number one, dude, here you go. Saving money. I mean, Matt, I don't know what the closest baseball stadium is to you right now, but even there in Nebraska, I can only imagine that if you get your butt to a major league ballpark with you, your wife, your two beautiful girls, well, guess what? You got to go into hockey. You got to sell a kidney, dude, if you want decent seats. And then keep the kids quiet with the concessions. You know what it costs for a beer there? I'm not even a big drinker, and I'm telling you, man, it's ridiculous. Soda, hot dogs, cotton candy, Slurpees, snow cones, whatever the case may be. If you want to buy back in the old day, when I was going to games and we got the felt pennant. Now that felt pennant is retro, and it costs $75. The prices are ridiculous here. And it's just so cost prohibitive. Why can't I just sit at home with my own snacks and my own money and not have to worry about shelling out dough left and right on overpriced, lousy concessions and overpriced merchandise? I could just order it all online at a nice little discount. Point number two, How about a view from every angle? Right? I don't know where you're sitting at these games, but if you're sitting out in the right field section and the ball comes right there by the wall and right field, guess what? You can't see that play. That guy must have made a great catch. You got to catch it on the old Diamond Vision board. So you might as well just sit at home. Watch it from the multiple angles. If something happens and there's like a replay or there's a question about whether it was fair, whether it was foul, whether it was a catch, it wasn't a catch, you get to see everything from every angle right there in front of you. You don't have to sit there at the stadium being like, oh, what? What's going on? Oh, what's the Diamond Vision? And no, they can't fix it there either. So views from every angle. Number 3, much fewer idiots. Much fewer idiots. I don't need any new friends. I don't want any new friends. Last thing I want to do at a ballpark is have some dude chat my ear off the entire time because he sees me tweeting out and he's like, oh, look, you're Rotobuzz guy. This actually happened to me at a fish show. I was in Vegas and I was sitting there and I was tweeting something out and the dude next to me was looking over my shoulder, invading my privacy. And he's like, oh, hey, you're Rotobuzz guy? I subscribe to Fantasy Alarm. I listen to you on the air all the time. And then for the rest of the show, bip, 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 bip. Not to mention, oh, God forbid you go to a game in the Boston area, dude. You got to bring your boxing gloves. You got to tape up your wrists and your knuckles. Why? Because those guys don't know how to stop drinking. And what are they going to do? They're going to end up getting into huge fights around you on a regular basis. And it's not just Boston. There are idiots in every city. There are idiots all over the place. At least in my home, I can control what idiots come in and out and sit down on my couch or in my lazy boy and try and take up space there. So for me, Matthew, I'm saving money. I got views from every angle. I can see everything about the game. And then there's fewer idiots around me. What could be better than that?
As for the saving money, there are plenty of stadiums you can get decent seats for fairly inexpensive, and a bunch of stadiums are now letting you bring in food and beverage. I know at NASCAR events, you can bring in entire coolers full of food and beverage. All you got to do is pay for your ticket, which isn't all that cost prohibitive to begin with. So as far as expense...
You want to schlep a big beer cooler around with you?
It's schlepping it once, and then it sits in the stands for 4 hours.
No, I'll tell you what. You take me to a NASCAR race, you can carry the cooler. How about that?
That's fine with me.
Okay. Yeah. What else? Listen. I feel like I've won that one. The no idiots alone argument, I think, stands head and shoulders above anything. Bring in my own beer cooler. Why? So that some idiot can be like, oh, hey, dude, can I get a beer? Can I get a sip of your beer? Well, can my wife just sit down on your cooler for a few minutes? She's just really tired. No, she's drunk, stupid. Come on.
I've had that happen at a K-State event.
Boom! I know! I was the guy! Oh, hey, man, can my wife just sit down on your cooler for a few minutes here? Just take up some space on your blanket there, please? Oh, my Lord. I don't know. You got anything else?
Yeah, in terms of saving money again, you can spend just as much on buying your own snacks at your house as you can buying concessions at the game. So you're not necessarily saving that much. Plus, you also likely paid for the package you're watching the game on, so you've already spent that money as well.
Public TV, dude. Come on, man. The game's not on public TV. Why do I have to? Do I need to watch it then?
Exactly. So you can see more sporting events when you go live.
No, I can only see the one. If I'm sitting at home, at least I can flip through the channels and be like, oh, look, there's a game here, there's a game there, there's a game there.
So you just get bored at sporting events is what you're saying.
No. I love going to sporting events sometimes. But if I had my preference, dude, just bring it to me in my house. What do you guys out there think? Tweet us at Fantasy Alarm, at The Salesman, at Rotobo. I know I won that round, so we'll just move on. Let's talk the second round here, and let's get a little bit more fantasy friendly. And let's talk about strength of schedule. Now, there are some people who firmly believe that strength of schedule is worth analyzing when it comes to your prep work, whether it's fantasy football, fantasy baseball, anything like that. Is strength of schedule just a myth, or is that something legit? And I'm going to start off here, and I'm going to say, you know what? No to strength of schedule. It is a myth. First of all, when you're talking about strength of schedule, when you're talking about your fantasy football prep work. Okay, there's so much player movement, coach movement, free agency has just changed everything around. That year to year, who's to say what's on the team? Who's to say that this is a tough team? Is this a high-scoring offense? I don't even know. I'm not sure. Is the defense any good? I don't even know, because there's so much player movement there. So how can you sit there and say that, well, this team's got a super cushy schedule because they're playing the NFC East this whole time, when all of a sudden, maybe two of the teams got good, two of them didn't get good. You don't know. That's my issue with that. Now, if you're looking at other sports and you're looking at, basketball and baseball, how about baseball? We'll take baseball because you and I are both baseball guys. The imbalanced schedule right there. Does that help a little? But is that the deciding factor? Like, you could have a pitcher who goes up there, like Jake Odorizzi, who came from the Kansas City system. Now he's like money in the bank in Minnesota. Money in the bank. Did I grab Jake Odorizzi because of that easy schedule there, or did I grab him because of the development and because of what I've seen? He was a free agent pickup. But the bottom line is that I'm not looking at Odorizzi and being like, oh, well, he's going to be playing the Royals how many times? Royals beat his ass last time he was out there. Now he gets retribution potentially here on a Thursday night, but we'll have to wait and see. So for me, there's so much that changes from year to year with any and all teams, defensively, offensively, that I can't do it. To me, I don't subscribe to it. Point number 2, even the best defense can be putrid. We saw this with the Jacksonville Jaguars when Byron Buxton gets hurt in the outfield, and all of a sudden center field is all willy-nilly for the Twins. There's too many different things that can go on to say that defense on this team is great, and just accept that. To me, it doesn't work like that. Number 3, division rivalries, they always intensify the action. It doesn't matter. You and I are both Jets fans. As sad sack as that sounds, we are the only 2 Jet fans in the world. We're the only guys who root for this clown club here. Nevertheless, we've seen Miami. We've seen their rivalry against the Dolphins. They're 2 crap-sucking teams. Nobody likes either one of them. Yet every time these 2 teams usually play, there's always some sort of big drama. The Midnight Miracle in Miami, you remember that one? That was a crazy good game. I remember in the 80s there was like a game, it was like 57-41 on a last-minute touchdown bomb. Teams step up for teams that they are extra familiar with. And it makes it a much more difficult situation. Cleveland against Kansas City. Cleveland against the White Sox. I'd stick with the AL Central because it is the biggest pansy division in baseball right now. But the fact of the matter is that these teams still play each other kind of tough. So for me, strength of schedule is nothing more than a myth.
So I'm going to take the opposite side. I am a believer in strength of schedule. Point number 1. In sports in which not everybody plays the same schedule, you have to have a way to determine who had an easier schedule. Win-loss records, home and away weights, all of that works. They've done it for years in college basketball with the NCAA tournament. They've done it for years with college football in the various different ways they've attempted to decide the national champion. They don't play the same conferences. Not every conference is as good as the other ones. So you have to have a strength of schedule metric to aptly weight teams. Point number 2. There are several sports, college and pro alike, in which divisions and conferences are predictable every single year. You talked about how we're both Jets fans. How many times in the last 12 years have the Patriots not won the AFC East? Like once? Maybe? Oh, no, I think twice. I think Sanchez won the division twice with the Jets. Maybe just once.
Let's not give John and Pemba more like ammunition, please. For the love of all that is holy. I don't need to hear him talking anymore.
So the Patriots win the AFC East all the time. The Seahawks dominate the NFC West all the time. The Steelers, until last year, dominated the AFC North. That's half the divisions in football are accounted for. The Eagles, we know, are likely the best team in the NFC East. There's 4 of 6 divisions you already know basically the winner in. So strength of schedule, you can predict these things. Yes. The defensive parts, okay. Every team has a bad week or two, but generally speaking, the defensive metrics hold true from what we expect. Point 3. Even in baseball, it works for second half and first half gauge, which are both published, by the way. Heading into the season, we know who has the expected strength of schedule of what, and then in the second half, it's generally redone based on how teams have done. There are presumed strength of schedules heading in, and then they get adjusted. So you can adjust it. It's not, hey, it's this for 26 weeks, and it doesn't matter what happens on the field. It gets adjusted, just like it does in fantasy football. So, those are all reasons why I firmly believe in strength of schedule. And heading into the AL Central talk, your pick for AL Cy Young Award winner was Mike Clevenger, right?
Yeah, so what of it?
You picked Mike Clevenger because he had an unbalanced schedule against the easiest division in baseball, right? So you rack up wins.
No, that was just an added bonus, my friend. That was an added bonus.
You rack up strikeouts against weak offenses. You get, the best home park in that division.
But then why? Well, I guess for AL Cy Young, yeah, but I mean that's not even the biggest strikeout division. The Royals are never a huge strikeout division team. They don't strike out a ton.
The White Sox do. The Tigers do.
White Sox do. Tigers this year they do. They haven't in years past.
Hey, but you knew that going in.
Oh, you say you know everything going in here, Matt. I want to know from you. I'll tell you what, man. You picked for me the division winner of every AFC team, every NFL team. If you pick all the division winners correct this year, I don't know. What do you want? What do you want? $500? $1,000?
Take 1,000.
You take 1,000, and you got to predict every single one. You're gonna give me 1,000 if you're wrong on any of them.
On any of them, no.
All right, we're going to have to figure this one out here. I definitely feel a wager in the making here is what it is. Listen, I get what you're saying. Like in-season strength of schedule, when they're looking at RPI for college hoops and for college football, I get the in-season stuff where you have to be able to analyze how tough the teams are that they've played. But I'm talking going into the season. So I guess we probably should have specified that. I'm talking about going into the season. I'm not looking at NFL strength of schedule. I'm not looking at Carson Wentz saying I'm taking him because of 2 games against this team, 2 games against that team. I'm not picking anybody off of the Patriots for that either. I'm not going to say I want Tom Brady because I know he's going to see the Jets, the Bills, and the Dolphins twice each season. Again, I've seen the Jets hammer Brady. I've seen Dan Marino hammer the Jets. I've seen Dan Marino hammer other teams. I mean, I'm obviously going way back now. Things have definitely gotten a little bit predictable in the AFC East, but I can't say that for certain that we can pick the winners of each division just based on looking at something like strength of schedule.
I'm not saying you can do it based on strength of schedule. I'm saying the predictability of the NFL divisions makes strength of schedule a valuable stat to look at.
All right, let's pick a date here where you have to submit to me who the winner of each division is.
When are the bold predictions?
You'll have to be before the bold prediction. You can't crowdsource around the rest of the Fantasy Alarm team here, sir.
We don't pick division winners in that.
What's that?
We don't pick division winners in that.
No, we don't, but I'm going to make you now. Now I want to see. And the only thing you're allowed to look at when you're making these decisions is strength of schedule. Okay. We've got it at fantasyalarm.com. Let's go to argument number 3 here, my friend. And that's with fantasy football coming up. There's so much lip service and hype and coach speak, and it's nauseating beyond belief. Teams are overrated. Players are overrated. So what I wanted to do here was for you and I to pick who we think, each of us think, the most overrated team going into this season is. I'll let you start.
All right. So I'm going to go with the Browns. They are possibly the most talked about team this offseason. for good reasons. There's plenty of teams being talked about for bad reasons, but the Browns are being hyped. The helium machine is, pumping them through the stratosphere here. They still finished with under a 500 record last year. Yes, they were 7-8-1, but that's still under 500. And only one win came against a team with a winning record at the time that they played the game. Yet Vegas has them as a 9-win team this year. The last time they won 9 or more games, I think you have to go back to 2007, just 12 years ago and about 19 quarterbacks ago for the Browns. Point number 2, they did add Odell Beckham in the offseason, but we've seen him be a problem child in New York. Even when things are going good, he's still kicking field goal nets. He's marrying field goal nets. He's throwing tantrums on the sideline. And that's in a city where you blink and you get media attention. Now he's in Cleveland, the wasteland of NFL media. So what's going to happen when things don't go right for, 2 quarters? Which is likely to happen in Cleveland because it's the Browns. They have distractions with Kareem Hunt. How's the suspension going to work out? Is he going to beat anybody else up while he's on suspension? They've got that. Freddie Kitchens worked well with Baker Mayfield last year as the quarterback coach, but now he's the head coach. Now he's got a lot more responsibility. Can't get as much one-on-one time. Might see Baker regress just a bit. Point 3, the Steelers look like they could bounce back because they don't have the drama of Lev Bell and Antonio Brown hanging around them now. They still have a pretty good offensive system in place. They've got a rebounding defense, and they play in a division that's not all that tough. The Ravens won that division last year, and they added some help on the offense with Mark Ingram and a couple of wide receivers coming back, and their tight ends are getting healthy. So I'm not so sure that it's a shoo-in for the Browns to win 9 games, let alone that division.
I'm not so sure they're shooing for that either. I agree with you on a number of those points there. I do think that the Browns are a little on the overrated side. Are they as overrated as the Kansas City Chiefs? That's a different story here, right? Because, come on, let's face the facts. Patrick Mahomes threw for almost 5,100 yards and 50 touchdowns last season. There's natural regression coming here. He's just not going to duplicate those numbers. If you think he's going to duplicate those numbers, whether Tyreek Hill is suspended or not suspended, you're crazy. It's just not going to work like that. To me, it's not happening. I love Patrick Mahomes. I think he has a lot of talent there. 3rd round pick for fantasy owners. No way. Sorry. You're not going to see those numbers. You're not. Whether it's, changing personnel, whether it's defenses scheming more towards him, Patrick Mahomes is going to regress. It's just fact. Point number 2, Damian Williams. Listen, I get it. The system makes the player, not the player making the system. He's the perfect example for this. However, does he have the wherewithal to stay in as the lead back all season long in Kansas City? I don't know. This is a dude who couldn't crack the lineup from Miami. I mean, they had Frank Gore there, Kenyon Drake there. They had a bunch of tomato cans there who were just absolute nightmares. And yet Damian Williams was still limited to just being the pass-catching back. And he didn't even see a ton of snaps for them. So now all of a sudden I'm sitting here. I'm supposed to believe that this dude's a bell cow back in an Andy Reid system. I don't know, man. I kind of hesitate a little bit on that. Point number 3, Travis Kelce can't do it on his own, guys. Just can't do it on his own. If Tyreek Hill is suspended, you got 6 weeks where Kelce's the number 1 guy, and then who? Sammy Watkins? How long is that dude going to stay healthy for? Mecole Hardman? When was the last time we saw a rookie wideout become this dominant factor here? Demarcus Robinson? They don't even have anybody behind these guys. Like it's Hill, Watkins, and Hardman. And then a whole bunch of also-rans, never was, couldn't even possibly do it for us. So, if Tyreek Hill is suspended for 6 games, it's garbage city for the passing attack. And when he comes back, then they're going to focus in on him. What's going to happen to the rest of this team? I'm telling you, man, I think the Chiefs are the team. Everybody's picking them to win the AFC West. A ton of people are picking them to unseat the Patriots and move it on over to the Super Bowl. I think they're ridiculously overrated. I can't deal with the Kansas City Chiefs. I think they're more overrated than the Browns are. Browns are just overrated because they've been so crappy for their entire existence here. The Chiefs, I think this is just false hope.
Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with you there. And in terms of over-unders, the Chiefs are going off at 10.5 over-under in Vegas, which is a ridiculously high total. The only reason I didn't go with the Chiefs is I do have some faith that Andy Reid can reinvent a little bit and kind of gadget his way through some stuff. I don't know if it gets him to 10 wins, and the Broncos are still pretty bad. Who knows what the Raiders are going to be? The Chargers, they like split with the Chiefs every year. So, I mean, I can't disagree with your pick on the Chiefs there.
Yeah, I'm looking for something to use so I could just do my Andy Reid walrus impression. Right? Andy Reid looks like the walrus from the Tennessee Tuxedo cartoons. Google that, people. All right, what do you guys think? Who's right? Browns more overrated than the Chiefs? Chiefs more overrated than the Browns? You want to watch games at home? Do you have to go and shell out $1 million so that you can do it? Do me a favor, and then, of course, obviously, strength of schedule. Love to hear your guys' thoughts on that. At Fantasy Alarm on Twitter, at The Salesman. I am at Roto Buzz Guy. Hit us up. Let us know your thoughts on all of these. So, I don't know, Matt. I'm going to let everybody else decide who won this one. When you and I do another one, we'll reconvene. Maybe then you'll pick your division winners for the NFL. That one's going to be a doozy.
I got 4 of them, so I only have to come up with 2 more.
Do you? Well, see? Do you want to just pick them right now?
We'll go with Patriots in the AFC East.
Yeah.
Go with the Eagles in the NFC East.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go with the Ravens in the AFC North.
Mm-hmm.
Go with the Bears in the NFC North.
Okay.
Colts AFC South.
Okay. Ah.
NFC South.
Who?
The Saints in the NFC
Saints.
South.
The Saints?
Yeah, in the NFC South.
Okay. In the West?
Seahawks in the NFC West.
Uh-huh.
And we'll throw Mr. Edward Rouse a bone, and we'll go with the Chargers.
Don't do. That's it. That's it. Now I know you're done. Now I know you're finished.
In the AFC West.
That's going to do it for 3-Point Play today. Big thanks to Matt Sells. Big thanks to John and Pemba, our producer here for today. We'll see you next time here on Fantasy Alarm TV. I'm Howard Bender. Yeah, we'll catch you next time.